Cedric's Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octasanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzyme. Visit www.biomanrxsupplements.com.
Gold label quality Biomed RX CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Hi, this is Devin Lockett, the president of JobSite Route. As the son of a general contractor, I know how difficult it can be to get good food on the job site. And letting your construction workers leave the job site to buy lunch just takes valuable time away from them being on the site. I've developed an app and a program that will bring a steady stream of food trucks to your job sites every month for the low price of only $100 per month per site. That comes up to about $3 per day to have a steady stream of food trucks coming to your job sites all day, every working day. You can also contact the food trucks ahead of time and pre-order your food from the menu on our app. This saves valuable time for your construction workers and for you. It also sends a variety of delicious food served on Southern California food trucks to your job sites all day. When you think about it, it only makes sense to join the JobSite Route Network. Hello. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining. No slamming intro today, just me. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to put the link here in the chat. for those who want to join the conversation. All right, all right. Neologisms. Neologisms. What are neologisms? Well, first, what are neo? Neo represents new, right? And logism, logos, right? In this particular case, we're talking about speech. Logos, all right? Neologisms, new ways of speech. New ways of speech. You know, in the book 1984 by George Orwell, George discussed, he talked about neologisms. War is peace, something insanity is justice, or whatever. I forget. I actually have a copy of 1984. I keep a copy. I should actually refresh myself and read it, because we are entering that day. We are entering the day of Big Brother, with reference to big tech, and with reference to the manipulators of culture, or the, how did they call it? The Ministry of Information. Now we have the Ministry of Information from George Orwell's 1984 in full effect. I studied hypnotherapy before, and I intend to continue studying. And I'm not going to talk about the institute that I studied at, but they're a very, very good school. One of the objectives of hypnotherapy, is basically to preoccupy the critical faculty by placing the person in a state of fight or flight, by overwhelming their critical faculty with message units. It's said that we have 7 digits in the phone number because 7 message units is about the maximum amount that a human being's mind can take before they start going into fight or flight. So even though now telephones are 10 digits, because we remember the zip code as well. But let's just say it's 10. Let's just say the mind can take 10 message units, or be preoccupied with 10 message units before it goes into fight or flight. Or the flickering light, right, that a hypnotherapist may show the patient. Or, you know, a swinging object, right? All of these things are meant to preoccupy the left hemisphere, the critical faculty, so that the hypnotherapist can gain access to the subconscious. Basically, you're putting a person into a state of panic and confusion. You really are. And even though the hypnotherapist is speaking very calmly, it is quite a stressful experience. You may not think it is, because of the way you're programmed to feel when the session is over, but it is very stressful of a process. And the reason I say this with conviction, the reason I say this knowing what I'm talking about, is because in my neurofeedback practice, I do a type of neurofeedback that's called alpha theta neurofeedback, where we train the brain with 2 separate reward frequencies, one being in the alpha zone around 10 hertz, and the other being in the theta zone around 7 hertz. The human mind can balance being in alpha and theta simultaneously. In fact, the alpha theta state is the target state of hypnotherapy. You're trying to get a person into the alpha theta state so that you can access their subconscious mind and basically control their mind and control their behavior and control their thinking. Now, the reason I'm going through all of this, the reason I'm saying all of this, is because I want to address how the postmodernist obsession with neologisms and proper speech, correct speech, censorship, what is incorrect, what is offensive to say, what you have to say, what you're expected to say, how you are expected to address people based on their behavioral choices, behavior that you did not witness and that you may not be even aware of. And so you're still expected to walk through the gauntlet in life, the linguistic gauntlet of having to be careful of, backing yourself out of what's going on. Here's my good buddy David. David, how's it going, man? Turn the light on, man. Turn the light on. We're talking about neologisms, man. Are you there? Oh, let's see if he can get the light on and give us a call back. Anyway, so basically, to understand the principles of hypnotherapy, of hypnosis, right? Um, you understand the basic that you are trying to preoccupy the critical faculty, preoccupy the conscious mind, so that the conscious mind can shut down, the critical faculty can shut down, and then you have the person where you want them. You have them in a susceptible and controllable state. Normal communication nowadays is very difficult because, like I said, we have to navigate ourselves through the gauntlet of all of these neologisms by the people who think they have the right to change the language that we speak, as though our language is not a vital part of our culture and it's not a vital part of who we are, as though our language is something that could just be changed and you could be expected to navigate and adjust through that and live your life uninterrupted, unencumbered with the challenge of having to remember who's supposed to be called a shim or a zim or a zer or whatever. What man who's obviously a man wants to be identified as a woman, what woman wants to be identified as a man. I mean, the invention of a number of different genders, and I'm not even going to get into the whole shoving of the letter alphabet communities, principles and values down our children's throats. We're going to try not to do that, but I want to share something with you guys, and I hope it rings as true with you as it did with me. I'm going to try to find the browser where I had it open, and hopefully I won't have to try to find it again. I may actually have to find it again. Bear with me, people. Please be patient. I am going to have to look up something that I didn't expect to have to look up today. Patience, please. Patience, please. You see, I jump into my monologue. I jump into my log so quickly, so right off the bat, that I don't give people a chance to join me, and then when they do end up coming in, they see that I've already gotten into the point. I've already gotten into the whole thing that I'm doing. So, one moment, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, Tony.
All right. So I think I found it. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let's see here. Now I'm going to share. Yes. All right, here we go. Listen to this.
Before I want to visit with you, Ms. Mansky, but before I do, I just want to clear one thing up. Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue. It's
we should recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow. You're saying that
Wow.
I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So
Because-
we can't talk about it?
because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm
Is
denying that trans
dangerous.
people exist by
Are
asking
you?
you if you're
Are
talking
you?
about women
Are you?
having pregnancies.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can
So
get
you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence. Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you, or are
Absolutely.
they also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to
Oh,
violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning.
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot
I
just
know.
in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Ms. Matsky, let me ask you something. So you provide health care to women free of charge, right? Is that right?
Absolutely.
You've done this for many years.
Yeah.
You have licensed medical professionals at your pregnancy care centers. Is that right?
That is correct.
And what are some of the resources that you provide for women who come to you in a time of need?
So,
Just give us you talked about your written testimony, but just give us a sense of it.
so we have 3 OBGYN doctors, 5 registered nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, phlebotomists, medical assistants, and we provide prenatal care, OBGYN care. We provide pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, well woman visits, breast exams. We provide a wide range of medical services. Yes.
So what do you think about the DC politicians now saying that your clinic and the other 3,000 pregnancy care centers around this country are fake medical clinics? For instance, Senator Warren has said it's now more important than ever to crack down on so-called crisis pregnancy centers that mislead and deceive patients. Senator Menendez, crisis pregnancy centers jeopardize women's health and well-being, all while elevating unproven theories about birth control. Senator Warner wrote to Google asking them to censor search results for care centers like yours, saying directing women to fake clinics that traffic in misinformation is dangerous to women's health and undermines the integrity of Google's search results. Do you run a fake clinic? I mean, is that what's happening here? You don't provide actual medical care to actual women?
We absolutely do not run a fake clinic, and we have a full medical staff. Like I said, many of our medical professionals have experienced abortion for themselves, including our OBGYN doctor who used to perform abortions. So our entire medical staff is there for women, whether they choose abortion and walk out the door or whether they choose life for their baby, and we support them for years after that.
Do you think there ought to be an ideological test to be able to get medical care in this country? I mean, should we say to women, well, you have to agree with the DC Democrats' ideology, otherwise you can't go get medical care? Or maybe for you and the physicians who work at your pregnancy care center or the thousands of others across the country, should we impose an ideological test on them and say that, well, you have to agree with the DC Democrats' position on abortion, or you can't provide medical care to women? Should we do that in this country?
Absolutely.
I just want to ask in my few remaining seconds here, Ms. Harley, the Dobbs decision, as I understand it, I've read it now a number of times, it gives to voters the decision as to what laws should be pertaining to life and pertaining to abortion in all 50 states and other jurisdictions around the country. I'm just curious, do you know what percentage of voters in this country support the DC Democrats' position that they want to impose on the entire country, a one-size-fits-all rule they want to impose from the top down? Do you know what percentage of voters support their position, which is also, by the way, the same position taken by North Korea and China, other notable violators of human rights? Do you know what percentage it is?
I know that nearly 90% of Americans oppose abortion in the third trimester. The number that would support abortion up to the moment of birth has to be minuscule. It's a horrific policy.
Yeah, I mean, based on the most recent Harvard poll that was just released just a few days ago, it's less than 10% of voters say that they would support abortion into the final month of pregnancy, and yet that is the law that the DC politicians want to impose on every voter in America, to take this away from the people, take it away from my state, take it away from all the other states and the voters in the states, but impose this law uniformly that is not supported by 90% of the American people. Talk about anti-democratic. At the same time, they want to shut down 3,000 pregnancy care centers all around this country.
That's infanticide.
That's radical. Thank you for being here.
Wow. So, I mean, you heard it, people. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
First Lady Jill Biden,
but you know,
is accused of pandering
let
to a
me
key voting
turn
bloc
this
and
off.
facing fierce backlash.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're at the point where, and I'm not even arguing about the humanity of abortion, all right? Because that argument's already been made, and everybody pretty much understands where I stand as a Knight of Columbus. But the fact that, you know, people are expected to use the same language and mean completely, totally different things, and that these neologisms, these new assignments, these new ways of speaking are something that we are expected to adapt, and we are expected to accept without question. Okay? It's making me wonder whether or not we're going to be able to survive as a society and as a culture, whether we're going to be able to coexist and actually share the world with people who are adhering to a dynamic linguistic structure. Yes, American English is not British English. There is not a book for it. And yes, it has been dynamic. And the linguistic contributions of the African American community have become greatly accelerated with the advent of rap music, to the point that they've decided to reclassify contemporary African American vernacular and call it Ebonics, while at the same time continuing to redefine English, supposedly proper English, proper standard American English, as we speak it. This is only going to create a lot of hell and confusion for people. It's just going to it's like the Tower of Babel, right? It's going to stop us from communicating with each other, and it's going to stop us from ever really accomplishing anything as people, ever really gelling and as a society, right? Gelling with each other as a society. So I just wanted to get that out there, and I was wondering if I could get some people to participate with me in this here discussion. But this new channel of mine, this new old channel, this recently resurrected channel, has not yet triggered the algorithm. So I should have gone live on my other two Devin Lockett channels. But nevertheless, I'm going to sign off on this stream. Okay, I sent out a couple of invitations for some friends of mine to join, but they're not necessarily predisposed to do that right now. But as always, you know, I want to thank you guys for joining. I want you to stay kind, because as you know, kind is the only sexy. Stay blessed and stay healthy and sexy. All right. This is Biomed RX. Go ahead on and subscribe to Biomed RX TV, as well as Devin Lockett, all three of the Devin Lockett TV channels. And holla at you tomorrow. Peace.
Gold label quality Biomed RX CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Biomedric's Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, octosanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.